The views and opinions expressed on The Big Llama Show are those of the host and guest. They do not reflect that of our sponsors, advertisers, or employers. Enjoy the show.
It's in the she ruckus. Dead beat, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You ain't a killer, boy, stop. I hear you yelling stacks on deck.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Big Llama Show. I am The Big Llama. Thank you so much for joining me. And I love coming up here on Sunday nights, man. And with me, as always, is my co-host, my man from Colorado, AD. What's going on, AD?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh man, nothing much, man. Just excited, man. We don't have a lot of topics, right? Like, and we talked about this just a few minutes ago. We have a lot of topics, but we have commenters. We have, our loyal fans, hitting us up early before the show, which is great, which is always great. So let's shout them out real quick here. Got Charles real quick. Says, guys, wish I could be here, but doing the COVID thing. We'll watch this in the AM. God bless and good night.
Hey.
And Charles he definitely does watch the show the next morning, and he hits us up the next day and hits us up with comments. So, Charles, thank you for being a little subscriber and watching every one of our shows, man.
Feel better.
Yeah, feel better. I hope he's just working the COVID thing. I hope he doesn't have the COVID thing, But anyway, but let's see. Got Hercules Outlaw. Let's go. He was excited at 9:52. He was ready for the show to start. All right. Let's see. Big Homie says he's ready and waiting for the show. All right. Yeah, that's right. He was a few minutes early. AD hit him up with some of the emoticons, right?
Yeah.
And John S. So John S. is he's been commenting and been watching some of the movie watch along. So John S.
Oh, nice.
He said 189 views on The Exorcist. Congrats. Yes. We're going to talk about those that content and those views. But John S., thank you. Welcome to the show, buddy. Appreciate you being on. Let's see. Hercules, happy to see the brothers on tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So very, very excited. There's just a lot of new things happening with the show, with the channel, and again, we every night, every time we finish this, AD and I sit down and we wrap up and we think about what we could have done better, or we talk about how the show went. And honestly, it's just morphing into what it's going to be, right? So, we have some topics that we want to talk about. If we get to them, we will. But really, we want to focus on the subscribers and the comments. So making sure that we hit you guys up. Gabe Roman's in here. He's saying, "Yo,
what up, Gabe?"
Gabe's in the house. All right. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the fun stuff. As always, I want to highlight and spotlight AD. I know, AD, you're doing a whole lot of streaming. I've done my bit of streaming as well, but I want to feature you, man. Just let me know, let the people know what you're working on, man. What you've been doing this week.
This week I kind of just been gaming on the low. I think I streamed like 2 times this week. Today I streamed for like 5 hours. We got a couple wins. So we were just playing a lot of Call of Duty. I mean, you were with us last week playing COD. That seems to be like, as much as I try to find other games to like branch out on, I just keep coming back to COD. So it's probably the most fun I have streaming. I mean, after this is done, I'm definitely gonna get back on stream and continue playing, because I think I had up to like 5 viewers right when I got off stream. I was like, damn, I don't want to leave, but duty calls. So just more streaming and more content creating. I mean, I put a clip out last week that did pretty well, so I'm just trying to get more clips and post them and get more eyes on the brand.
No, for sure. And again, the content coming out of your guys' camp is it's phenomenal. It's fun. It's interesting. And definitely, as much as you want to go away from Call of Duty, that seems to be the game that people want to see being played. It has the most interactions that I've seen. And me trying to play it was my feeble attempt to just jump in that world. And didn't work out too well. But
Well, yeah, shout out to Hercules. That man he's streaming right now, I believe. He's making a lot of good content. Big homie's always with us when he doesn't really record, but he's always with us when we're gaming. Gabe was with me today when we were playing. When we got some 4 wins,
so you allowed Gabe to stay on.
He actually brought me on to his crew with his friends, and I was just wiping the floor with everybody. So it was a good time.
Oh, let's see. Here's Gabe says AD the GOAT. All right. Oh, that's right. So you came in, you wrecked shop for his group.
Usually I'm in hard lobbies like with my friends, but then going into his lobbies is a little bit, I don't want to say like dumbed down, but it's just like it's a little easier lobby. So I was just running through them, and we did good, man.
Excellent. So yeah, no, I tried my hand at streaming. You saw me.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Yeah.
So, listen, I'm a novice at this, so I'm learning the game, which is fun. This is a lot of fun at my age, at my old age, to sort of try to get into Twitch and streaming and this type of stuff. I set up 2 microphones, one for the gaming system because I have, and I'll show everyone here. I have this, retro arcade, that has 4,000 games on it, and it has no other connection other than the little speaker. So I put the microphone by the speaker. I had my microphone going, and nothing but echo. Double microphone echo was the entire broadcast. But I had fun. It was fun. But I felt pressure. You know what the pressure was? Is like I'm playing the game and I'm enjoying the game, right? Yeah. And I'm like, is anybody else really enjoying me watching this play, right? So
yeah.
And then I was playing Street Fighter, and I'm doing my moves, but I'm button mashing, and I'm telling everybody I'm a button masher, guys. I'm a button masher, and I don't know. I felt inadequate at the time, so but you know what? It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It just comes along with streaming, man. When I first started, it was the same thing. Like you get kind of self-conscious, like especially like with the camera on you and stuff. You kind of like, damn, like I don't want to mess up in game. Like you don't want to make bad plays in game. And then you kind of want to try to be entertaining at the same time. So it's like a balance. It takes a lot of like, I'm just now getting comfortable. Me and Hercules were talking about this earlier, actually, because he was like, when he streams by himself, he doesn't talk as much. And I used to be very much like that, like where I get into the game, I'm not talking. I'm just kind of just there. And then I look up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm streaming. I'm supposed to be entertaining at the same time. So it's just like, it's just growing pains, You got to get used to being on camera, get used to playing. And one thing I got to say, every time I tune back into your stream, you're playing a new game. So I was like, I felt like he wasn't getting in the groove of these games or something.
Well, no, and see, that was the thing. Honestly, because I tested it. I said it's going to be a test.
Yeah.
So I was trying different games, trying to see how different things sound and look. But I did feel that pressure. I was like, oh, no. Maybe this game will be more exciting. Maybe I should have just stayed on one game because I honestly, I think I picked up 3 or 4 people like right off the bat when I was playing Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, people like Street Fighter. But man, I was like, oh, no, let me switch. And that's the danger of having 4,000 games on this stupid thing.
Yeah.
I think I played The Simpsons. I played Marvel vs. Capcom. I played Street Fighter. I played all the old hits. But again, I'm going to stick to a game or 2 next time I do it. But it was fun. All right, Gabe says here, Gabe says, keep it original and the entertaining comes without trying. Yes.
You say that until the camera's in your face, bro. Right. I'm telling you, I try to be funny because I know I'm streaming. But then he's right, though. Like sometimes I do try overly and then I say some wild stuff and I'm like, oh, that was a little too far. But there are times where it's just like me and the boys and we're streaming. Like today, honestly, playing with them, it was like 4 hours before like 2 of my other friends hopped on. 4 hours straight though, and I was just like, oh man. I looked at the time, I was like, damn, it's been 4 hours since we were streaming. Like, just constant. It was fun. I had a good play. So it's just practice, man. It's just It's like with everything we're doing with this. Yeah, no, and I'm gonna definitely do it because what I found is if I don't have a lot of time to put together, because we'll talk about the new content that I'm putting out. But when I don't have a lot of time to do my major edits or to record the video I want to record, some nights I have about an hour or so to sort of burn and say, okay,
let me try my hand at streaming these games.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm going to do more of that because it's enjoyable. It's a little bit less stressful. And it's just fun. It's fun to hit up the old arcade games. And I think I played Shinobi too, which I'm usually pretty good, but I sucked that day. Anyway,
Got to you, man.
the pressure was there. The pressure was there. All right, let's do this because we want to thank our subscribers. Let me add. All right, look at this. I didn't even add the screen. I'm here hitting the button thinking it's going to show up. There we go. All right. I do want to thank my subscribers. Again, we have grown to almost 190 subscribers so far. We've gained a lot this last couple of weeks. Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do to the new content change. And I'm finding a new audience. So I'm very, very excited about that. And we're going to talk about our podcast. We're going to talk about all that stuff in just a moment. I do want to say, this month we're running, the channel is on a promotion. It's Llama-ween. So happy Llama-ween to everybody. It's the month of October. It's a little cliche. Everyone's doing spooky stuff, but it's the month that you do this. It's a fun time to do scary movies because honestly, I wouldn't do them any other time.
Hercules was talking about today. He was like, yo, we should do I forgot what game. I think it's called Deceit. He's like, yo, we should play this game to see. It's kind of a creepy game. And in my head, I was like, everybody's doing this right now. I don't want to do it. Even my roommate, Lee, Mr. Functions, she was in the chat last week. She lives downstairs and she streams. And she was streaming this scary game. And I got home from work and she's like, it's kind of dark in the thing. She's really into it. You could tell she's into it. And you see me in the back of her stream just pop up.
Oh,
and
no.
And I actually scared. She's like, oh my God. I told you I make great content. Just went back upstairs.
No, what's okay. So what the great thing about this scary stuff is that I'm honestly not. I don't watch scary movies. I watched them when I was.
Seeing your reaction.
Oh no! I watched them when I was younger, right? I shouldn't have been watching them. I think that's the lesson for the month. I shouldn't have been watching these when I was 6 to 10 years old. But now I am watching first time ones, and it's a lot of fun, and I did learn a huge lesson, right? What I don't realize is I used to make the reaction videos for trailers. I mean those videos run total 5 to 7 minutes total. And that's me talking plus the trailer.
Yeah.
And so what I didn't realize is that with those, I'm able to edit right away. So once I finish the running through and I do the reaction, I go right to editing and it's in, it's like that. It's quick. But with a 2-hour movie, and especially, I just did The Exorcist, and we're going to talk about that one. Yeah. I just did The Exorcist, but 2 hours of me, recording on the camera with the computer running, I didn't realize you're supposed to give the computer a little time to process once you stop recording. Yeah. It's still finalizing the video, and it's still running through it. So again, I spent 2 hours. I spent an hour and a half recording, and I watched Paranormal Activity.
Now, how are you recording them, though? Through OBS?
Yeah, so I'm recording through OBS, which, it's pretty much what I record on everything. Okay. Just because it's pretty easy, and it makes my editing that much easier. But yeah, so I record and when I tell you, man, and I you know what? It's only because I lost the video that I tell you that this was probably the greatest video I've ever made in my life. Because I was truly, truly scared. I've never been this frightened watching a movie. I honestly thought about stopping it and quitting. I said, but no, I said the show must go on. I must get this video image. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I learned is that after an hour or so, you got to give the computer at least a few minutes to process, to get everything sort of saved up. And then you can go ahead and shut it down. So me trying to, balance the, getting to bed at a decent time, because I don't start these movies till about 9:45, 10 o'clock. And so by the time I'm done, it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So the minute I'm done, I go straight to bed, which is another mistake with these scary movies. So yeah, no, I stopped it. I turned it off. I came back the next morning to edit. and the file was corrupted, and I lost the entire recording.
Damn.
And I tried everything. I downloaded 6 programs. I tried my best to just make it work, and I lost it. And I was so pissed. Like,
I don't know how your memory works on your, like, because you're using like a laptop, right?
yeah,
There's, like,
my laptop.
So I'm thinking, even for me, because I have like, I record or whatever. Even if I don't stream, I'm recording my gameplay, and I just run out of space every time. I just need to have an external. Maybe you need to record onto an external so it's always there, and then you could just take it off, drag it, edit, and you still have the clean file as well.
Yeah. No, so John S hits me up here. 13 seconds of it are on Twitter. Yes. So what I did, John, is I was so excited about the reaction, because I trust me, that reaction is the most genuine thing. Like, that's like literally like I couldn't even control my hands. I just spazzed. I was so happy about it. I rewound like while the video was processing, or I looked at the playback, and I rewound it and said, "Oh, I got to get this for Twitter and put it up there." So yeah, the 13 seconds was what I was able to see that night real quick. So because I said this reaction is priceless, let me go ahead and put it out. And man, I think that's what pisses me off even more, is that I thought I had it. I thought I had everything, and the file got corrupted, man. But you live and you learn. And then I thought of rewatching it. But listen, this is something I'm not a superstitious guy, right? Well, maybe I am a little bit, but I thought that for sure it was because I watched Paranormal Activity and I angered a demon of some sort, because it killed my video. The thing was a handheld, camera movie, and I got motion sick. Like, and that's another thing. That's why the reactions are so good on it, because when it finally stops moving is when you're focused on one element, which is the doorway, darkness, and you're like scared to death. Yeah. So when it stops, my head is spinning. I'm like, oh dear God. I'm doing this. I'm winking. I'm like, my one eye, because I'm literally like gonna throw up. So I swear, this was the greatest piece of video I've ever done, and it's not there. It's so I'm still pissed off about it right now.
Trust me, you're gonna lose more videos, man.
I think so.
It's gonna happen, bro.
So,
it's part of this.
Yeah, so now I'm very excited, because what I was able to do is I regrouped, I rebounded, and what came out of it was my first time movie watch of The Exorcist, which, if you have not seen that movie, here's what I love to spoil things for my own audience, and I'm not going to do that. I know John S has seen it because he had commented on it, but trust me when I tell you, if you've never seen the movie, watch my version. Because after you watch it, there's an appreciation for some of the things you saw. I was very excited about it. It's up there. It's funny. It's terrifying. I don't know if it was John or somebody wrote in my comments, "You look uncomfortable watching it," which is totally true. And for ambiance, I turn off the lights. So I turn off the lights in this room. Like right now, I got it full blast, right? But I turn off the lights. I have my little red glowing light behind me, and I'm just watching, and I'm there. Like that's my true, inner thoughts and experiences. It's crazy. It's just a crazy experience. I'm glad I'm doing it, but there is some pressure to talk. Like, that was the other thing too, is like, because I'm doing the full length watch alongs. Yeah. And I'm like, I feel like I got to talk. I got to say something.
It goes back to the streaming thing. It's entertainment. Like, you're not just watching it to watch it. Nobody wants to watch you watch the movie. They want to see your jump scares, your reaction, your commentary. That's what they want to see out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm finding the good balance, because there are moments when it's appropriate. Right. So, and the other thing I'm learning too, and this is, again, I love, just sharing what I've learned. Another thing is, you have to sort of tell the story verbally, because what happens is I'm cutting and splicing, right? So when I do the YouTube edit, I'm trying to get within 10 to 15 minutes of actual footage, while adding commentary. And so what I'm realizing is, like, I have to say what just happened. So I'm like, oh, so the priest just did that. Oh, okay. And because if I realize I'm going to cut that piece out, or if it's a really slow, long piece, I got to bring back that, because if it doesn't make sense, like how you're watching. Now, most people have seen the movie, so they know which part of it is, but there's some people who haven't, and they watch it through somebody else's view and lens. So it's an interesting thing. It's just an interesting thing, and for sure, again, very excited. Llama-ween is happening. We've got The Exorcist that just hit today. We got a lot of people watching it. My Field of Dreams one, it hit over 1,000 people watching it, like combined, the two versions, the one that was banned and this one. So that's really, really good. And coming soon this week, we've got another one. We've got The Lost Boys. So this week I tackled The Lost Boys, but The Lost Boys is a retro rewatch. So what I'm trying to do is one first time watch and one retro rewatch, so that I can explain what my thoughts were when I was a kid when I watched this movie, and what my thoughts are today. Yeah. And with this one, I had a whole lot of fun. I will tease this. The llama dances within the first 10 minutes of the reaction. So I'm dancing on camera, doing some kind of move within the first 10 minutes. So that's the teaser for you to look forward to this week. Nice. Like, people are gonna be like, "Nah, I don't want to watch that guy dance."
Unless it's with the tutu, man.
You know what? I've been looking for that video, man. I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. I want to show you. I want to preview it. I want to demo it here. I wish Lenny was here, so Lenny can tell us exactly what's going on. All right. Let's do this. We've been on for about 20 minutes. I love the fact that we've got some interaction, but we do have to pay some bills. So it's commercial time, guys. Now, the Big Llama Show loves its subscribers, loves the audience, loves to reach new people. AD and myself love doing this every Sunday night, but some Sunday nights are a little bit late, and you can't stay up late. And like Charles can't stay up. He needs to go to bed. Some of you guys have 9 to 5s, and you guys get up really, really early in the morning. You can't stay up for all the fun and the hijinks. So catch the Big Llama Show on the podcast. We're available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts. You will find the Big Llama Show podcast, featuring, as always, my co-worker, my co-producer, my co-host, AD. Just a lot of fun. And again, make sure you follow us on any of those streaming services, any of those podcast services. There is an ability to donate or support if you'd like to. I don't push that because that's not what we're looking for. And we have had a lot of success on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening to this on a replay on Apple Podcasts or any podcast service, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. But yes, the Big Llama Show is always on a podcast Sunday nights, available throughout the week, every single week, some new content. All right. So again, we pay the bills on that one. So commercial 1 down and checked. That's all we're doing.
Is there more traction on the Apple Pod?
Yeah, no, the Apple Podcast seems to be the most popular. We have the most unique, amount of users. People are checking it out. People are really tuning in. I think every week it's a little bit more in a little bit different countries. I think we hit the UK also. So yeah, it's interesting to have that, have the podcast do a little bit better week to week, which I think, as we said, is probably the future. I think AD and I have talked about it. We're probably going to do some content exclusively for the podcast. We might do some recordings, whether it's on this channel or his channel. We really have talked about doing a couple other things other than the Sunday nights. And in addition to the Sunday nights, we might do maybe some time changes, because we're trying different things. We want to see what different things are. And if we have a special guest, if we ever have a special guest, we're going to interview that guest, and then we will broadcast at a later time, whether, so maybe sometime earlier in the week. But we'll definitely let you guys know. We'll keep you guys posted on our social medias and everything else. All right. So, AD, one thing I wanted to talk about, and again, It's really just because I'm fascinated because I've stayed here in Florida. I've always stayed here. I've never gone anywhere like in terms of moving, right? Like
Yeah.
I've lived in Hollywood and moved to Port St. Lucie. I lived all over Miami and different places, but like I've always been within that sort of range. You took a different route, right? So you went from being here in Florida
Yeah.
to going to Colorado.
I
So I
mean,
just
you
want to
gotta
talk
think
about
even
that.
before that, like baseball.
Oh,
I
that's right.
played, I played in Pennsylvania, New York for 2 years. I lived in Texas for like almost 3 years, and then I went back to Florida for a couple years, and now I'm in Colorado. So, I mean, I've been lucky to be honest. Like even like my mom tells me like she's never lived out of pretty much Port St. Lucie and Miami like since she was young. So like a lot of my family they haven't lived out of Florida. So the fact that I've gotten to experience different states, different cultures. I met so many people throughout my time living there, and it's crazy to me because I didn't leave Florida until I was like 19, turning 20. So like I was in Florida for the first like 20 years of my life, and then since then, last 8 years, I've just been traveling everywhere really, and just living different places.
Yeah, no, and so your first foray, or your first leaving, you graduated high school, right?
Yeah,
And then you go to play baseball. So you
yeah.
go play in New York, right? Is that
I played in Pennsylvania for like 6 months for the first semester. Then I went to
okay?
New York for 2 years. Yeah.
And so, and were you weren't in the city, right? You were just
Yeah.
outside the city.
No, I was. So I lived
Oh,
in the Bronx.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I lived in the Bronx with like some family for the first year, and then the second year we had a team house, which was like further in the Bronx. But my school was in Times Square, like legitimately. So like
Wow.
I literally watched like my first year there. I watched the ball drop from my school, like right outside of my school. I was like, bro, this is crazy to me. Like not leaving Florida and then getting to experience like because also my family's all from New York. So I got to like actually see what the like all the stories they used to tell me about like what it was like living there. I got to kind of experience it, of course, in a different way because I was broke. You know what I mean? I was just like chilling. I was just playing baseball. I was just literally there for baseball in school. So it was a different experience, but it was dope. And then I went to Texas for the last 3 years of like college and stuff. I had like a place out there, and it's just I've kind of noticed it's happening again. But every time I leave for like extended periods of time, I miss Florida, man.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I miss my family and my friends out there, but like, I just miss Florida, bro. I miss the sun. You know what I mean? Like being out here when it gets cold, it sucks. I realize how much of a Florida boy I am being in the cold, like living in New York, Pennsylvania, Colorado. All these places are cold as hell, and I'm like, bro, I just miss the sun. I used to hate going to the beach when I was younger, just because it was so accessible. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I just want to go to the beach. So I don't know, man. I get in these funks every now and then where I'm just like, man, I miss home.
Yeah. No, listen, I couldn't. I think I want to. I've said this to Mama Llama. I said, look, when we retire, I'd like to live in New York. I'd love to live because I love the city, and
Yeah.
I'm a city guy. I don't like country, and I don't like rural areas. I like the city, and I every time I've gone to New York, it's been amazing. So,
Yeah.
but the one thing I do know about myself is that I cannot do cold.
Yeah.
Like Florida cold makes me grumpy llama. Like I'm mad at the world when it's Florida cold, and that's hard for me to go anywhere that is going to be freezing and snowing. I've never seen snow. I've never truly really seen
Uh,
snow.
I mean, like I said, until I left Florida, I'd never seen snow either. But like out here is different because now I have to learn how to drive. And so, like New York, I could take the train and I didn't really have to deal with the snow. I just had to walk through it, obviously, but that was all right. But like here, like when it snows, it's like, and I got work, it's like for the first year, I didn't leave. When it snowed, I stayed in my house. I would call off of work. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm not. I would always tell them too. I'm like, I'm not messing up my car. It's not worth me for some reason slipping on some black ice, crashing into a wall. Like, it's not worth it. I'm not going out. But I'm slowly getting used to. I'm not getting used to the cold. I'm not a cold person, but it's definitely an experience. And I always told myself like if blackout takes off the way I wanted to and like streaming and stuff, I think I'm gonna move back to New York. A part of
Yeah,
me wants to live in Cali for a little bit, but like I just like this. I don't know, man. I felt different when I lived in New York. Like And now that I'm actually a little bit more grown, have my head on my shoulders, have my goals and stuff set, like I definitely want to experience a different side of New York.
No, for sure. And listen, like I said, I want to do more than the Florida stuff, but
Yeah.
man, it's hard. It's hard to get adjusted to. I mean, it's beautiful weather here. So, and the reason I brought this up, and hold on, before I do that, Gabe, we heard you, man. Bronx, you heard. There you go. No, and the reason I brought this up is, you tweeted earlier that you do miss home, and so I was like, you know what, this is a great topic to explore because it's something I can't do. Like, right, I can't leave here and go, and if I do go somewhere, it's short periods of time, real quick, and I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by, you having just up and left at a young age. Up, I'm gone. But obviously to play baseball, and baseball has given you a lot of those experiences, but still, and because it's something that my son will hopefully do very soon, right? Next year he finishes. Whether he plays baseball or not, he's still going to have to up and go somewhere for college. But no, just I'm fascinated by the story. And then you ended up in Colorado. What brought you to Colorado? How'd you end up there?
To be honest, I have no reason for being in Colorado. Like literally, I went back home after my stint in Texas, where I called like Texas my down years, where like a lot of like personal growth happened. I would say, like, you know what I mean? Like I had a lot of things happen, so like going back to Florida, I like obviously moved, like everybody, they always told you, and I thought it wasn't going to happen to me. Like, but everybody who moves away from home, like they somehow end up at their parents' house at a later age. And they're like, it always happens. He said, don't blame me, dude. He is part of the reason. But being back home and like living with my parents again, I was just like, I don't know. I just feel like everybody has to leave their hometown.
Yeah.
Whether it's for a short period of time or like me, like I don't think I could ever live in Port St. Lucie again. Like if I ever move back to Florida, it's gonna be Miami, it's gonna be Tampa, it's gonna be Orlando, it's gonna be somewhere that I haven't lived in. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I could ever live in Port St. Lucie. It's just when I go back there, I see people doing the same things as when I left. Like it brings me back into a weird, like I was in a weird place when I was back there, man. Like I wasn't moving anywhere. I felt like I was just staying on the same plane. I wasn't growing. I wasn't getting better at anything. I built my computer and stuff like when I went back. Like I was fortunate in that. I started streaming at that point, but like I didn't see a bigger picture. I just felt like stuck there, So I just needed to change. And then big homie and his girlfriend, they moved out here like a year before I did. And it was kind of like he basically told me like, yo, I could get you a job out here. And he helped me with a place to stay. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm leaving. And it was kind of like a weird, he said, it's toxic. It is. I mean, sometimes it is, like, especially like the people I was around at the time, like it just wasn't good for me, and like moving out here, I got to experience another place. You know what I mean? I always knew once I started living in like these different states, like I want to continue that. At some rate. Obviously it's going to slow down the older I get, and like if I have a family, all that, but I want to continue like experiencing new places. Like here I see mountains like everywhere I drive, and it's like, bro, Florida, you don't see that. Like the landscape out here is crazy. You know what I mean? People out here kind of different. You know what I mean? Me and Justin always joke, is like it's uncultured here. You know what I mean? Like they're uncultured, like they don't get it. We always talk about like we can't, and it's weird because Blackout and like what we're trying to build, it's almost reminiscent like when my dad, my stepdad, he told me like when he moved to Florida, he was like everything he experienced in New York was coming down to Florida at that time, and he experienced it again. And I feel like everything I think is cool that like I grew up with, they're like just now catching on to out here. So I was like, it's the perfect storm because we're building something that we've lived our whole lives, and people out here are just now starting to embrace and like. So I don't know, man. I don't know why I moved out here, but I know since I've moved out here, I've grown a lot. I mean, even with the show, like doing the show, although it'd be dope if I was in Florida and we could do it in person, but
yeah, no, I mean, but like I said, I think I am not living vicariously, but I'm enjoying seeing your progression and the story. I've known you when you left here.
Yeah.
it was interesting to sort of watch, and I think, through Facebook and everything else, just watching your experiences along the way. And again, I think it's fascinating that you're seeing the different parts of the world, or at least the United States, right? Yeah. Which is, it's something I think people should do. I think, honestly, and what you're saying about like here. So, for example, I'm not from Port St. Lucie. I'm new to Port St. Lucie. So what happens is, what you guys are saying about it's being toxic or it's not the same and you wouldn't come back, it's sort of the same thing I feel for where I came from, or where I like in Hollywood and in Dania and those areas where I went to high school, and I see the same thing. It's a lot of my high school friends or people I knew from high school doing some of the same things.
Yeah.
Like 20 years later, like, stop going to the same bar. Like, please. Yeah. Like honestly, that bar is not that great. And it wasn't that great when we were in high school, but
to me, it's comfortability. Because I've noticed that not only with myself, like I notice it the most with myself when I'm back there, but everywhere I go, like Denver, places in Texas, the people I meet that are from those places that I'm there, they feel the same way, and they always like. And that's one thing, people are always scared. That they always say like, "Oh, I'm scared to try a different place." And for someone who like I literally pack all my stuff in my car and just go. Like every time I've left, it's kind of on a whim. Like even when I went to like play ball I stopped. It was after high school, 2 years after high school, that I stopped playing ball. And I literally woke up one day, was like, I hate it. It was honestly, when I moved to Colorado and like when I started training at Raw Fitness and like was getting ready to leave, if I felt the same. Like I felt like I was reliving that cycle, because I was like, I just woke up one day like, I can't do this. Like I have to go. And I remember when I left for ball, I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna find a team it was literally like the beginning of the year, like probably like February. I was like, when the semester starts in August, I'm gonna be playing somewhere. I don't know where, I don't know how, but I'm gonna find a team and I'm gonna find a scholarship. And that's what I did. And it's kind of the same thing. I woke up one day, was just like, I need to change, man. Like I can't be here anymore. And like luckily I had Justin and his girlfriend to help me out, and then like COVID hit and it made it harder, but it kind of also like helped me get to where I am right now. Like I'm in a better position. Like I'm in the best position I've ever been in my life, like financially, motivation and wise, like with my content and like doing, like obviously creating content. So I don't know, man. I just feel like everybody needs to get away from where they're from, because you could get stuck there. Like I said, every time I go back, even going back in the November, I know what I'm gonna feel. I miss it. Yeah. I miss seeing my family, but I know when I get there, I'm gonna feel that same like, oh, I gotta leave. Like I can't be here that long. Like, you know what I mean? A week is perfect.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's what I'm saying. Like at least you have the big llama to look forward to. But
yeah, I'm excited for that.
Listen, and what's exciting is it's funny because I'm like, I can't wait to see this guy. I can't wait for him to come down and we'll do a show or something. We'll do something, right? But yeah. I'm excited to sort of hang out with you for a little bit outside of the show, right? Because you and I are like talking through the computer and that's it, and on phone. So, but no, I'm thankful that you shared that with us. I just wanted to sort of break a little bit from our normal stuff, just to sort of talk a little bit out about other things. Let's see here. It's up and stuck for November. Okay.
I don't know what that means. This guy got a hard on? Is that what you're telling me? That's what this guy's telling me right
Gabe, please.
Children's show.
Please respond. Please respond with a clarification. Thumbs up. Something. Please tell me you're all right, man. You smell burnt wood. Let's go. What's going on, man? Let's go. No. So again, I wanted to break a little bit from our normal pattern and just see, talk about different things. And again, I love the fact we get to interact. Your journey is an interesting one, and I just want to make sure that people know about it, and people know more a little bit about us, right? Okay, so Gabe,
he wrote that.
Gabe says he's okay. All right, let's see. John S. says Las Vegas has no autumn, summer to winter in 1 week. 105 degrees on Monday, 60 degrees on Tuesday. Yeah, no. That's I've been to Vegas in the winter, and it's crazy. Like November, we went for our honeymoon. Mama Llama and I went, and we rented a convertible, and Man,
Oh,
it was
man.
cold in the morning, but by midday, like we had to drop the jackets and everything. It's crazy. And yeah, 105 degrees.
Honestly, here it's crazy because it'll snow. It'll snow like for let's say tomorrow. It's snowing and it'll snow all day, all night. But then the next day, the streets will be like normal. We'll be like, what the hell? Like it just snowed all night, and like the streets are like completely normal. The snow's melting. Like some snow will stay for a while, like on the grass and like in the shadow areas because it's that cold. But just like it blows my mind. It's like, man, like it snowed a lot last night. Why are we driving like there's no snow?
But so what's the temperature right now?
Oh, it's been honestly this time last year it was already snowing. It's been let me see. It's been hot. It's been hot as hell. Right now it's 55. So this week looks like it's cooling down. But like it's been in the 90s, like 80s. And it's like dry.
But it's 55 right now.
Yeah, because it's nighttime. So like it cools down at night. It cools down at night.
I'd be going crazy, man. I'd be insane. It goes 70 here, and I'm like, oh, I gotta wear a sweatshirt. You know?
Oh, bro.
Oh, I mean, I wear a sweatshirt to sweat. Like that. That's literally why I wear a sweatshirt. Like when I go to the gym in the morning, I put on a hoodie, not because I'm cold, because I want to sweat. And so when it's actually cold out and I have to put the sweatshirt on for that reason, I get pissed. I don't know. It's because my blood is from the equator, man. So it's Peruvian llama blood.
I honestly think that has something to do with it, man, because like I don't get like acclimated. I mean, like I said, I've lived in Pennsylvania. I only lived in Pennsylvania in the winter. New York, the only time I was in New York, I spent my summers in Florida because like out of school. But then the rest of the year it's just cold the whole time, and it's like even now I'm like, bro, I'm not getting used to the cold at all. Like I just don't think it's for me. So next place I live is gonna have to be sunny.
And is it? I mean, I'm not asking about you, but I'm saying I heard and I read that sometimes in those cold places there's a lot of depression, like because you're isolated sometimes, especially if you're in a blizzard or like you're snowed in for a little bit. Like it's almost like the lockdown, right?
Yeah. Oh, bro, we were locked down and it was snowing. Like I felt that like we were kind of like in a smaller apartment, so like I felt like I was just invading their space because I was staying with them for a while. And like my mood was not good that whole time. Like I was just like, bro, like I need to figure out life. Like, you know what I mean? I did it. I literally got here, got a job within a month and a half. I only got like 2 checks and then COVID hit and I got fired within that like couple months. So I was like, bro, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I almost like a part of me was like, I might just have to go back to Florida. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm lucky I made it through because like I'm in a way better spot. I have a clearer mind. I'm not ready for the winter, but I'm ready to grow though.
Got it. Which segues into our next commercial, right? The winter time is coming and the holidays are coming. And so if you're looking for holiday gifts for your loved ones or fans of the Big Llama Show, stop by the Big Llama Show merch shop. Link is in the description. And check out our holiday selections. Actually, there's no holiday selections. They're just nice llama shirt merch.
You should drop the Llama-ween one.
Well, I thought about that, making a Llama-ween shirt. I do have, again, the orange shirt is available. It's a festive Halloween orange. It says the Big Llama Show. But yes, if you are looking for gifts, make sure that the Big Llama Show is part of that gift giving list. Go to the merch store today, pick up some Llama Show merch. We got mugs, we've got cold cups, sweatshirts, hoodies, tank tops for the ladies, tank tops for the dudes if you want to work out, CrossFit tank tops, we got those, and some nice shirts, both Llama Nation shirts and Big Llama shirts. So hit us up on the merch shop. So again, just a little plug for the merch store, and that is commercial number 2.
little behind the locker room talk. You should throw the link like at the bottom or throw it in. Oh
yeah, I should. You know what? Let me do this. I'm gonna find the shop here. But
hey yo, pause.
Big homie says.
Hey, yo, Paul, we lived on top of each other.
Big homie's just revealing the size of the apartment or the size of the unit. They're kind of small. We lived on top of each other for like a year. Yeah, see, I got to put context to that comment, because if you just say kind of small and you start talking, people get the wrong idea. So I want to make sure people know what he meant by that.
I wasn't trying to give him too much detail, Justin. Damn. He was out there.
Oh, man. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to see if I can bring up the Big Llama Show merch shop in here just to show everybody that it's a real shop, but not just a fictitious place that I decided to create on my own.
We should do like an infomercial commercial.
Oh, my God.
Press play every time.
Well, you know, I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? A lot of people do that, because I've seen a couple of streams where people are doing that. They're like, oh, you know, check out my shop, and then they hit the button, right? And then like it says, it goes to their merch store. But I'm going to actually show the merch store. Let's take a quick look here. The Big Llama Show merch shop right there. You get your official Big Llama Show drinkware. You got, again, the apparel, you got the tanks. And like I was saying, if you go into each of the shirts, there is an official Big Llama Show orange tank there, orange shirt. Let me just get back out of here. Again, we've got face masks for those of you who are still wearing masks. Big Llama Show, the hoodie. Now, here's the thing, right? I made these, right? I designed these on the website and everything, which is cool. It's fun. But I want one so bad. And I'm like, man, I got to drop some cash for these. But I did, again, I did. Somebody did buy 2 mugs, so I'm trying to figure out who that is. So whoever did that, thank you so much. But yes, visit the Big Llama Show. Again, I'll put the link in the description. Make sure you guys check it out. Back to the comments. This ain't PG, because I'll call all the blackout guys.
Don't do it, bloodbath. Don't do it. This is a children's show.
Well, yeah, PG by choice. PG by choice. Not necessarily that I am a PG guy. Just trying to expand to a wide swath of people. And if you guys didn't join us last week, we talked about, you know, me going on a live stream, streaming on Twitch with these guys. And yeah, the first, the initiation was drop the F-bomb, please. And I did, and it was no big deal. I've done it before, right? You
just have to make sure. I was like, is he capable?
Right. It's just fun because, yes, I intentionally, the live streams, my videos, most things I post, it's not that I want it to be family friendly. Most of the content isn't for kids. I'm watching R-rated movies on here and doing reactions to them and things like that. And but I do have, again, some family members, some young family members. My nephews are watching, so I just want to make sure if they happen to tune in that I don't get yelled at by their mom. You told me to subscribe, and you're there dropping the F-bomb. Okay.
Like I told you last week, man. To me, it's great because this gives me some type of maybe let's not be so wild. I'm trying to practice an actual media personality instead of saying all the wild stuff I say on my stream. So I like that. I like the fact that I come here and I know, I catch myself. I'll be like, stuff.
I see you. I see you, man. I see you.
Always, bro. It just comes out.
Somebody caught me on one of my videos, and I said, I should have said, holy shit, but I was like, holy smokes. So I was like, oh, dear God. Oh, John S. is commenting. He says, you need an Exorcist tea, the Llama-cist. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, man. I still cannot shake some of those images of that stupid movie, man. Oh, my God. You know what? Honestly, yes. So I have to pause when I say that, only because here's the thing, right? It is truly a slow burn. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes, and they just are slowly building the story. Right. If you're not into that kind of stuff, if you're not into sort of the cinema, sort of, creating a little tension with space and discussion, you're going to get a little bored, I would say, right? But it was compelling and it was fun. And then when, it was scary all along, but that's I can just see, like, again, some people that watch movies today, they're conditioned to the jump scares every 10 minutes. They're conditioned to being, given exactly what they want, and then the slasher movies do that. Like the slasher movies, they kill somebody within the first 2 minutes of the movie. You build up the character, they kill 10 people, and then there's like a big climactic chase thing at the end, right? That's like the formula. But if you watch The Exorcist, it's not that. It's a slow progression to the story, and it's great. It's great.
Wasn't The Exorcist like one of the first movies that dealt with like paranormal activity style stuff? Because I felt like they probably made it more like a movie, and then added those elements, and that's what made it so good. Because at this point, like even the paranormal activity movies, they've gotten like I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. It's like after the second one, because the first one I thought I watched it and my mom and like my grandma are Jehovah's Witness, so they always talked about like demons, all that stuff. And I used to be terrified as a young kid. Like if I saw something scary on TV, I would need the light on. Like, I can't just walk in the dark. I used to be terrified. And then I grew up and was like, well, if the demons got me, they got me at this point. Like, what am I going to do? So, but like the first Paranormal Activity, I remember watching it thinking it was like real, and it scared me. But then after you see 2 or 3 of them, then it's kind of like, oh, they're doing the same formula for each movie. Right. It kind of gets repetitive.
Well, I'll give you my thoughts on that in a second. I just want to hit up Big Homie. He says, true feat here for AD not to curse or be reckless. So he's hitting you up. He's letting you know it's truly a remarkable feat that this is what you're capable of. Paranormal Activity is a one note type movie. Like it's effective because it was groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah.
And that found footage thing is amazing, right? But when I saw, I was intrigued, right? I said, oh, maybe I might want to watch the series.
Oh, I got a movie. You just said found footage and it hit me. My bad. VHS. Go ahead. You ever seen VHS?
No. I'm writing it down.
Write it down. I don't want to tell you nothing about it. You're going to get motion sickness for sure. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But
so bring the bucket. Bring the bucket.
Yes, I hope you throw up because it's gonna be a TikTok viral video.
Oh dear God. So but yeah. So I said let me see. No VHS. I got it written down here. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I was gonna watch the rest of the Paranormal Activity series. I said, you know what? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Let me see a couple of images of what they're showing. And what I saw was actual images of the scary thing.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that takes away from the premise of Paranormal Activity, which was you don't see it. You don't see it and it's in your head. And what's in your head is more terrifying than anything anybody could ever produce. Yeah. And so because I said it when I was reacting, I did salvage a movie review out of it, so that I'm going to put that out at some point. But I'm watching a screen that shows the same thing over and over again, which is just a bed and a doorway. And what's happening in that doorway in my head is freaking crazy. I'm seeing things like there's nothing happening. I went back and watched it like rewound it a little bit. There's nothing there, but in my head there's a shadow, something moving, like something is happening, right? But it's all in my head. So when you have to show what that is, it's not worth it. I think the gimmick is over at that point. But and I don't think you could do that too often. You know what I mean? Like I can't watch many movies like that and be, like entertained. Like I was truly. And here's the bad thing, right? Too. Like I do these things at night, right? And I tell you, it started at 10 o'clock at night. Midnight, I walk out from the recording. My whole house is dark.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing every image I saw in that movie. I'm a grown man that can't walk across my own house. I debated. Like I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
I'm just gonna sleep in the stream room.
I think I'm gonna pull one of those streams where you just fall asleep on the stream. You're like, hey man, I'm taking a nap.
Shout out DJ Academics.
No, but honestly, I was and that to me told me that was an effective movie. It made me think. It did scare me, and so you know, now The Exorcist scared me for many other reasons, and one of them is the subliminal messages. I don't know. I mean, you've never seen the movie, right? No. Okay.
No.
Well, there is this image that pops up. I think it's 4 or 5 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Like randomly, like you're watching a movie and all of a sudden, boom, image pops up and you're like for like a split second, and I'm like, wait a second, what? And in my commentary, I'm like, do you guys see that? Did anyone else? Like, I'm thinking I'm going crazy. Like, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah.
And actually, here I'll show you. It's this little demon thing next to the priest.
Oh, okay.
That thing pops up out of nowhere. Black screen, just the face. Randomly. And I'm like, oh, dear God. What did I just see? And why am I seeing it? Am I going crazy? And it keeps happening, right? And I'm just like, dear God, what in the world is this? And am I crazy? Let me see. John S. has a update here. It says the subliminal demon face was used twice originally. But in 2000, they added the face a few more times to make it more modern. See that, John? You're right on the money. It's what I was talking about. Is that you're conditioned to see scares every interval. We've become less patient. If a movie goes on too long, you say maybe you could have trimmed it. People talk about the run times. But yeah, that's good to know, John. I had no idea that they added more after 2000. I was watching the director's cut, so that's maybe why it was so long. But
imagine seeing that in theaters though for the first time, like when the movie came out, you just like, oh shit.
No, that's insane. No, I'm saying that's insane. I wouldn't want to go see that in the theater. I need that personal experience on that one. I need home.
I listened to Joe Rogan talk about like it was like Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz on their podcast, and they were talking about when The Exorcism came out and like the backlash that movie got because it was like the first of its kind. Where like, because you gotta think too, a lot of people were a lot more religious back then. I'd say people are religious now, but there's like more religions. At that time, it was like you were kind of just one of the couple religions. So like, I felt like that was such a groundbreaking movie at the time. So that's why I would watch it, because I want to see like, I don't know, I just feel like I've seen too many things that are similar to it that it won't give me the same effect.
Well, like I said, I was raised Catholic, so the priest scenes and there's a couple of references that I totally get. Like I'm like, oh, now I know exactly why. And what's shocking, right, is this little girl, Linda Blair, at 14 years old. She was 14 at the time of filming. The shit that she's saying. Holy shit. I mean, I was like, I had to censor it. Like I forgot, I didn't censor one piece, and I know I might get in trouble for it, but who knows. The stuff that she was saying to the priest, stick this in your this and do that. I'm like, oh my God, what am I watching? Like
sound like one of AD streams.
Listen, it sounded totally like your streams. Coming from this little girl, 14 years old. And no, I just, it was crazy. And she was doing some kind of vile things to herself. And I was like, why am I watching this? Like, am I going to get arrested? Like, this is crazy. But I can see, and you know what I read? And it's in the trivia. I always do trivia at the end of each of the movie reviews. That the movie theaters banned the trailer because all the trailer was that demon face flashing. And they said people were freaked out and complained that they're sitting there ready for a movie, and all they can get is the stupid demon face coming at them in a trailer.
Effective marketing, though.
Oh, for sure. Like, you saw that, you're like, I got to check that out. I got to see that.
Yeah.
So, oh, man. So, anyway, The Exorcist. It's a fun movie.
Didn't you post it today?
I did. And it's got a lot of views.
Really?
Yeah. No, it hit pretty good, so that's good. A lot of people have watched it, and I'm expecting it to go up a little bit more over the night and tomorrow. 190. Yeah, which is great. I mean, I posted it earlier this afternoon, about 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah, you really found your niche with these movies, man. These movie watching.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it is exactly my speed, right? I'm not, and we've said this. I'm not keeping up with the latest trailer and trends and all that stuff. And honestly, it's been so much fun to actually be able to watch movies and analyze them, break them down. And then the great part is the editing. And as much as I hate editing sometimes, doing the rewatch and then having to splice it together gives me a new appreciation for the like the model of the movie, like how they put it together, where the beginning, middle, and end is. And then I have to recreate that, and this is what's fun, is it's almost like role play. Like you get to pretend you're the editor.
Yeah.
I have to put it back together in such a way that it makes sense to the viewer, right? That it's here's the beginning, here's the middle, here's the end, and here's the all of that in 30 minutes. And so it's been a lot of fun, and again, a lot of new subscribers as a result. Here, Hercules Outlaws says, so sorry to hear about the paranormal vid, bro. I know the feeling all too well. Yep. Yeah, no, man. I'm still sour about it, man. I'm still pissed off about it. So,
sore subject, dude. Don't bring it up.
No, yeah, Hercules, man. We talked about it early. No. Actually, honestly, like I got to get it off my chest because I was truly pissed off, man. I think that night I went to bed angry. Yeah. The next morning I was angry. But you know what it did was it gave me like to just think about, okay, what do I do next time? How do I make it better? That type of thing. And that's when I went to review the Lost Boys right after, and I did both of them back to back. The Exorcist and the Lost Boys. I did them back to back, meaning one night after the other. I recorded both of those. And so I'm happy I did that because I did have a lot of fun with the Lost Boys, and that one's coming out this week, hopefully by Wednesday at the latest. I hope. Please be on the lookout for that. Sweet. All right, so one thing that's not on our list, but I wanted to mention it because we were talking about trailers. I am still on the fence on the Eternals. And I got roasted. I got roasted on somebody's live stream. Yeah. Because I wrote in that live stream that Eternals I'm not that excited. Like people, they were talking about it and they said, "Oh, the Eternals is going to be great." I'm like, no, I don't think it is. I don't know, right? But I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on it because I haven't seen anything that's made me excited for it.
The trailers. So the second trailer was a little bit better because it gave us a little more insight, we get a little bit more, not character development, but we get a little bit more of the characters, so we see how they are, who they are. Right. I think it's our lack of knowledge because Eternals are one MCU commodity that I don't know too much about. Right. I'm kind of just letting the movie teach me about it. I usually, if I don't know about it, I have to find something that interests me, and then I just go in wormholes and learn every single thing, and it doesn't catch my attention. So I feel like for the hardcore people who are truly into everything Marvel, they might be super into it. But just as casuals, me and you, it looks all right. It looks like a big budget Marvel movie. It looks like it's not a team up. Well, obviously it's a team up movie, but it's not in the sense of different characters and forming one team, which brings me to What If. When we talk about that one, I kind of want to bring up that. Yeah, we want to talk about that. But it's just I don't know, man. I'm not too excited for it as well. I hope it's good. I hope it piques my interest, and I kind of want to learn more about these characters because this is a movie that has a lot of implications for Marvel going forward and what the MCU is going to be going forward. I mean, I'm sure they're going to answer a lot of questions of just time questions of different universes and what we're going to experience. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll just have to see.
I think they're banking on Kevin Feige's comment saying that this is the best Marvel movie they've made. I don't know. The marketing and promotion for this movie is terrible.
Is that him gassing it just because they don't really believe that? Because think about the movie that's coming up, because doesn't it come out soon?
Less than a month. It's November. I forgot the date, but it's in November. November 5th. It's right around the corner. But that's what I'm saying. Right. So here's why I'm a little bit hesitant. Right. they're touting this director, right? Who's I'm sure will make a masterpiece of a film. Great. It's 2 hours and 37 minutes. That's the current runtime that they're showing for this movie, which is long by Marvel standards. Like Shang-Chi was 2 hours and 12 minutes. Black Widow was 2 hours and 13 minutes. Venom was only an hour and 37 minutes.
Which I get because they're introducing like 5 characters. So like
Right.
I get it. I get it why it would be a little longer. It's like almost an origin, but then I don't know, man. It's weird.
But here's the thing, and this is what I'm saying is like, so for Shang-Chi, right? Like you had big trailers and you had huge reveals, and then once they hit you with the final trailer, you were salivating to get to that movie.
Yeah.
And then what they did was they did the every other day they would have the featurette
TV spots,
the TV spot for a minute, and without a ginormous awesome trailer, the Eternals is on the TV spots. Like I haven't seen anything exciting. That again, the second trailer was good. I enjoyed that trailer, but like I said, I get now how not being a huge comic book fan sort of hurts my perspective on it because I got roasted. Like again, I went in there. It's like I don't know, and they were like, "These are the greatest superheroes that anyone has ever seen," and I'm like, "Okay, I get that, I understand that," but like,
but they didn't display that. They didn't display that in the trailers.
Right, to the average fan, this is what I'm saying. Like right now, right in November, the average fan, and I hate to say, Marvel fatigue, but you get Marvel fatigue. Like you've got a show every month.
I don't know, man. It's like I don't know.
No, what I'm saying, not by Marvel fatigue, but like you have to keep being excited to go to that thing, right? You got a show every single month. You got What If that just ended. They're now ramping up for the Eternals, and up to this point, I've been excited about the future projects. I was excited for Shang-Chi. I was excited for What If. Even Star Wars Visions, which is not part of. I'm just saying, I was excited to keep moving along the journey. But when you drop a lackluster trailer and you don't hit me with, again, the average fan, I'm gonna go see it. I am. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but you hit the average fan with that. I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's going to bomb. I'm afraid it's not going to be what people say it is. Now, it may be one of those movies that comes out and the reviews are through the roof and people see it and they go word of mouth and people go back to see it.
Yeah.
But I honestly, again, I'm a little nervous about it. That's all. I mean,
my only thing is like,
prove me wrong is what I'll say. Prove me wrong. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's almost like the Venom thing. I mean, you weren't really too up. Up about Venom when it first came out, the first trailer.
Yeah. No. I hated it. I hated the movie.
But I don't know. It's almost like they don't want to show too much and give too much away because, like I said, it could have a lot of implications going forward of what's happening. But then again, for him to come out and say this is the best, like maybe the best cinematic, like you know what I mean? Like you got to be a little bit more because think about it, December. Spider-Man No Way Home's coming out, and I'm guaranteed most of the population's more excited about that movie than Eternals. You know what I mean? Like that movie's, and like I honestly this week read and watched a bunch of stuff because like actual spoilers for the movie came out.
Yeah. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything.
I know. If anything comes out, if that movie comes out half of what they said in that, like that's gonna be the best movie they've done. There's no way. I don't care what they do with Eternals. There's no way they're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way, especially with this third movie. I don't know, man. We'll find out though. I mean, we'll have a month. Maybe they'll drop like another little trailer to get us excited for it.
Here's what I'll say. And this is my prediction, right? If Eternals says go see us on IMAX and watch a special screening of the Spider-Man trailer, the movie is garbage. That's my prediction.
They're not going to do that. But yeah,
I know. I'm just saying.
I see what you're saying.
They did that with Fast 9. They said, if you go to see Fast 9, or whatever, F9, whatever it was, if you go see it, watch the brand new Jurassic Park trailer in the IMAX theater. Like, they were trying to get butts in the seats. So I just want to say, if I see that, I guarantee you that they're not as pleased with the projections for this movie.
Yeah.
And again,
movies are back also, so like it's gonna do. I think it's just gonna do good off the strength. It's a Marvel movie, and like going to your point about the Marvel fatigue, like I don't see it because they're constantly giving. There's not like a slip up, and if it is a slip up, it's just a slip up within like What If. Like there's a couple episodes of What If that I was kind of like, they're okay, like they were dope to see, but like they're all right. They're not slipping up to the point where it's like, oh, that was just totally garbage. Because the day that they had, like, if Eternals bombs, I don't think it's gonna hurt Spider-Man numbers, but it's gonna hurt future movie numbers. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna be the casual people like you, not even like you, because you're a little bit. I wouldn't consider you super casual, like more than the average fan. But like an average person who just goes and like off the whim, like let me just go watch this Eternals movie. That's gonna be the last Marvel movie they see if it sucks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because. Right.
And listen, I am a card-carrying member of the Church of Marvel. I pray at the altar of Kevin Feige and Stan Lee. Trust me, there's nothing. I don't want to see them fail. I don't want to see the movie fail. I hope Eternals is an amazing experience. I'm gonna go see it in IMAX. I'm gonna take the kids. I'm gonna go. So I'm definitely there. I'm a little nervous about it, but it's okay. I mean,
but even with that nervousness, like with our lack of like enthusiasm for it, it could blow our minds too. So that's also there's like two sides it could go, and I'm kind of hoping it blows my mind because like if they are like, I mean, these are super powerful beings in the Marvel lore, so like I hope they do them justice. You know what I mean? I hope so.
For sure. So I'm hoping that we get there with that. All right. So one thing we did want to talk about, we had said it before. Want to talk about the last episode, the finale of What If, the finale episode. It's been long enough that it's been out. So spoiler warning, we are going to talk about this episode right now. I thought it was, and you had said it. So you had said you thought it was a big, giant sort of continuation. I said it was a random telling of stories, and was I wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, and it was a pleasant surprise. With the filler episode, right? It started with the filler episode with Thor, introducing this, Ultron who had all the Infinity Stones, and then we got right into that the next episode, right, with the Watcher.
So I think the Ultron episode, in my opinion, the single Ultron episode where it explains how he became that being was a lot better than the last episode, personally. Mm-hmm. Like it was, I just had got home from work. It was last night I watched it just to be like prepared for the show. So I watched both of them back to back.
Right.
And like that first episode, I was just like, damn, like it was like, honestly, if we were to get a live action of that, like the feeling I got, like I was like, yo, they are doomed. Like even when he showed up and like the Watcher was like trying to run away from him, like the fear that I literally felt like, oh no, like one thing goes wrong, like this whole universe thing is over. Like, and that would have been kind of dope. It would have been, obviously it's What If, but what if Ultron destroyed the whole universe and that was the only season of What If? Like imagine that, like that would be amazing. And like it felt like that. Like it felt like this guy cannot be beat. Like who is gonna beat him? And then you get to the team up thing, and I kind of was like, I thought it was dope. It was good. Obviously the animation is good.
Yeah.
It just was another team up. Like, you know what I mean? To me, it was like, the same formula.
It was the big bad. He's out of control. Let's get as many of these characters together. I think the cool thing was that they kept all the things that they've been working on throughout the What If series and brought it to the finale, which was that to me was great. Like that's a nice callback to, hey, you watch these episodes, they weren't just for nothing. One of the things that came out of this obviously was that Tony Stark, like people were pissed that they killed Tony Stark almost every episode. But Tony Stark is that was it the point in the timeline, the absolute
point, yeah.
Absolute point. He has to die in the series for it to continue to move on. He's an absolute point, just like Strange's girlfriend had to die for him to. It's an absolute point. So I love that piece. I love the fact that the Watcher got like turned off the TV. He was like, no, I can't look at this. And then and then Ultron came through and just was just decimating him left and right. But the team up at the end was a little corny, but they did end on a cliffhanger, right? They did give you the open door for Natasha Romanoff coming back to the series or coming back to the movies if
Yeah.
it's canon, right? Which I think it is.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't think like they thought this was just gonna be an offshoot, like show that it wasn't gonna be like Loki that had implications to MCU. But I think it may not have like direct implications, but we might see like a Captain Carter. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because
yeah,
like people loved her. What else? I also feel like and another thing that came out of it was that the Gamora thing. I wanted to see her episode. They said that they didn't have enough time. She had her own separate episode, and that's why at the end she kind of just popped up. But they
yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
enough time to finish the episode and stuff. Which I was kind of like, damn, like her universe was dope because they had Tony in the Hulk Buster, and like that was his suit. So like I would have loved to see that. I think the team up would have been a little better if it wasn't 30 minutes. Also, that was
Oh
another
yeah,
thing. It
yeah.
was like super short, and also I felt like Doctor Strange probably could have just 1v1 Ultron and took him out.
Yeah, exactly. And now Killmonger taking over at the end there.
That was kind of predictable,
It would totally was. I honestly think this, and I told you this, and we've said this in past shows. It's a way to sort of see what sticks.
Yeah,
It's an inexpensive way, not inexpensive. It's obviously all expensive, but you're not producing a full length movie. But you're gonna find a couple of things in here, like you said. The Captain Carter was one of them. The Doctor Strange and his real power. That's all stuff I want to see live action. So it's a good way to gauge, will this storyline work? Will people accept this or not? And then they did, like I said, they opened the door for Natasha Romanoff to come back in her own new world, teaming up with the Avengers again, that kind of thing. So it served its purpose, right? It's a good way of seeing these stories. It was fun. Some people overhype their reactions to it. I will tell you that. Like, some people were like, "This is the most amazing thing ever." No, it was good. It was good. I don't think it was,
episodes like single episode. Like I said, the Ultron episode was super good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed when all the Avengers died. That
Oh yeah,
episode,
yeah.
I enjoyed the murder mystery side of that. So like there was really good episodes. Even the Killmonger episode to me was really good because
Yeah.
like I liked seeing Killmonger. I mean, obviously he was a bad guy. It would have been dope to see him as a good guy, but to see like just a different path for them was, I don't know. It was a dope show, man. As a,
Yeah,
as
it was
a, as
fun.
a series, I'm excited to see what they do. They also said obviously they got to draw all this and they're animating it, so it took them a little longer. But they said they made like most of this stuff was made in like 2015. So
Oh
like
wow.
so like I'm not exactly sure on 2015, but it was like a couple years back where they could have changed a lot of things. You know what I mean? Especially with like how the MCU is going now. So I'm excited to see what like the second season of What If would be because they're definitely gonna make it. I think they already greenlit the second season, so it's gonna be
Yeah.
dope.
Oh no, and again, these Disney Plus shows have been popular. They've been must watch every week, and
Yeah,
so that's the whole point. And in a world of these streaming services that give you everything you want all at once, they prove that appointment streaming is still there. Like if you create enough interest in something, you can still dole it out 1 week at a time and have
for
people
sure.
talking about it. And I wish sometimes Netflix would do some of that with some of its shows because I love the fact that I can binge watch, like Cobra Kai's coming out in December, right?
Yeah,
I can't wait. December 31st, right? Yeah, that's my New Year's plans right there. I'm just going to binge watch it on New Year's Day because I'll be off work, I think. But once it's done, I'm like, oh, okay, there
now
we
you
go.
got another year,
Yeah,
another 2 years.
Cobra Kai's done and great, great. So I hope I'm in the minority. I'm sure. I hope they release them 1 week at a time because that makes for an enjoyable experience. And if I want to wait 6 weeks and watch them all at once, then that's fine. I can do that. But I think The Boys does the same thing. That comes out week to week, and that is must watch for me. That's one of the shows I can't wait to get back on the air with that.
Yeah,
Do you watch that show, The Boys, or?
honestly, I haven't seen it, but I'm kind of waiting till the new season comes out so I could just watch it all. Because like I said, you already know how I am. I already know what happens and everything. So like, I just want to watch it and continue it to because I'm like that too. Like if I watch something all at once, then I'm kind of just like going my wormholes for the next year and a half. Like, oh, what's the next season going to be like? And that's where I tend to find out all this information because I'm like, I need all the seasons to binge watch at once. You see,
Yeah.
this guy. I honestly, I've been watching. I tweeted about it yesterday, but I have like stars and I watch like the Power series, which is like to me one
Oh
of my
yeah.
favorite shows ever. Like one of my favorite series, and like what they're doing with like the different, like they're doing different chapters of different like characters' lives. Like some of it's like in the 80s. Like they're doing really dope things with it, and it's obviously every week. But I was obviously only had stars just for that, and then they dropped a show called Heels, which is like about like a small town brothers who like own like a wrestling ring. Look, please tell me about Heel, bro. Honestly, yesterday was the finale, and I've been watching it every Sunday since it came out because I caught it like right after Power because they played it right after Power. You know how they do, like they try to get you into the next show.
Oh, of
And,
course, of course.
and it's about wrestling, which I could give two. I don't care about wrestling at all. Like I never liked wrestling. It's never been my thing. But the story and like I was telling somebody yesterday, like the third episode caught me so off guard, and I can honestly say the third episode is what hooked me because they did something at the start of the show where I was just like, oh, I did not see that coming, and then like from the rest of the show on, even the finale, like they give you like a lot of loops and turns where like I was like, oh, like I miss this kind of television where like I'm like super addicted to like the show. Like yeah, last night I was like, damn. And one sad thing about it is like nobody's talking about this on the internet. Like nobody's doing reviews. Like there's a couple reviews about it, but like they're not getting like huge numbers. So I'm like, damn, I hope they get another season. That's why I felt compelled. Like obviously I don't have reach or anything, but I was like, I got to tweet about this because yo, Stephen Amell is one of my favorite. He's the reason I watched it because I like him in Green Arrow. He's like Green Arrow is one of my favorite like binging shows. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna give it a chance, and I did not expect to like it, but man, it was a great show. That's why I tweeted it out last night because I was like, I don't see a lot of love for this show. Let me just let them know I love this show.
And here's proof of that's right here. You know about this show, right?
Yeah,
I am a huge wrestling fan, like since the beginning, and I watch all the pay-per-views, and I love this stuff. I haven't been watching because it's been crap lately, but I had no idea about the show.
oh bro,
I seen a couple promos and I seen a couple pics, and I'm like, okay, I might check it out. But now you've convinced me. I've got to.
the thing about it is like and that's the thing. Like nobody I know has watched it, so like I can't like talk about it with somebody and see like maybe I just like the show. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just super into the show, but I think the storytelling of it, the acting of it is good. Like the setting because it's like a small town in Georgia. I'm pretty sure it's Georgia, but it's like a small little town, and everybody in that town goes to this wrestling match, and it's just like they have their own arena, and it's like none of these guys are getting paid; they're just doing it because they love it. But it's like the dude's dad built it from the ground up when wrestling was like popping, and now he's like continuing. And then you hear they go back and like talk about the dad and like his story and like what he was going through while running it, and like how that affected the kid. Like the storytelling is A1. So like. I want to be able to talk to people about it, and I hope we get another season because like the way they ended it, I was like, man, like this show deserves like more praise than I see it getting. Like, honestly last night I was like, man, I need to make like a video, and really like go through the episodes and like talk about each episode and like what I liked about the show. There's some things I didn't like about the show, but like I was like, man, it really compelled me. Like, man, I need to make this video because like I don't see too much love about it, but like I selfishly want the second season.
Yeah, no, I said now you've piqued my interest because I'm a huge wrestling fan. So I'm like, you know what? If you're liking this story and you're not even a wrestling fan, I'm definitely gonna love the story. I got to check this out. So now I got to get a trial subscription to start. Oh, did you? Almost.
Yeah, I almost cried, bro. Last night I was like, damn, they almost got a thug tear out of me.
Oh man, then I'm gonna need a bucket. Then I'm gonna be crying for sure. I'm easy on the waterworks, that's for sure. Oh man, sucks getting old, man. You get in touch with your emotions.
Listen, I'm a rom-com. I like romantic movies. Like romantic, honestly, nobody knows this, and I hate that I'm saying this right now. Romantic movies might be my favorite genre of movies ever. Like every romantic movie I've seen at least a million times. and I've cried in them. I'm not gonna lie, but when a show that I don't expect to like feel these kind of emotions like gets me to that point where I'm like, oh shit, like because
Yeah.
I watch romantic movies to feel that kind of way. This I was like I was going through every emotion. I was like feeling mad for some of the characters. I was like, oh man. So definitely check it out, man. Definitely check it out.
Let's see. Hercules Outlaw. Love the little stint Stephen Amell had with the Miz. Oh man, that's. I gotta watch now, man. I gotta watch. You talking to Miz is there?
This guy
Hercules Outlaw
cried.
calling him. This guy cries.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. Dude. I'm gonna cry now for bullying.
Oh man, no. Listen, I tell you, man. I crying for me, like I said, is great. It's therapeutic. It's fine. You know, I've been ashamed of it for so long, and I hate to get all psychological and talk about
Yeah, we were conditioned to be like that though.
For sure, for sure. But now I'm very comfortable with it. In fact, I bring it out anytime I can because I want to enjoy things like that. You know, I watch something and I'm like, I got to hold back the tears. Although, like I had said when I watched In the Heights, man, something hit me bad. I was bad.
Yeah.
I was really bad. My kids were like, "You all right, man? You all right?" So no. Yeah, you good, man?
Walk it off.
Yeah, no, they've never seen that before. But anyway, so yeah, no, listen, that's a good show. Heels, I can't wait to take a look at that. All right, so we're getting towards the late parts of the show here, but we do want to talk about the big fight, right? The big fight that happened. And I'm gonna let you, AD, run the show here.
Oh man, that guy's sponsored by Cane's Chicken. Oh, I love Cane's. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's the magic of powerful writing. Yep, Hercules Outlaw. That's it.
That's
man.
honestly. I mean, think about it. We love. I mean, this is a primarily like TV movie style podcast. I can personally say like these kind of like writing is what gets me. Like, of course, I like seeing dope stuff on screen. I like seeing action. But if the writing gets me to where like I'm thinking about these characters after I'm done, like last night. So there's another show called BMF, which is another fantastic show. It's about like the Black Mafia family. It's like I think you probably heard of them before. Huh?
Yeah.
Big Meech and stuff. So it's about that. It's about them and like Big Meech's son is playing Meech in the show. So,
okay.
Me, super dope, right? And I love the show. It's like episode 3. But the season finale of Heels had me in my mind thinking about the characters and like what the next season is gonna be like for literally like an hour and a half. And I was like, oh, I still got BMF to watch. And I'm over here like, damn, like I haven't even stopped thinking about Heels. I literally went to bed and was like, I didn't stop thinking about Heels for like an hour and a half. But like Hercules said, powerful writing, man. But let's get to the fights, bro.
Yeah. Let's talk about the fights. So so Fury is the winner again. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't follow it, and so this is sort of more things that you follow. But I did see a lot of action on Twitter and a lot of memes afterwards.
I hate that people are memeing like they're probably gonna meme him. Like even this picture's probably a meme. Like, this is the moment when I knew I effed up or some some dumb stuff. But
I'm gonna meme it right. I'm gonna meme it right now and be like. Kenny's reaction to Paranormal Activity right there. No, you're right. Go ahead.
So, to me, I'm a UFC fan. I'm a mixed martial arts fan. I like watching. I watch all big fights. I watch some smaller fights. I get invested in fighters. So, like, I'm mostly into the mixed martial arts side. I grew up with like boxing, like Oscar De La Hoya fights, Mayweather fights, obviously. Like those were events when I was younger. Like my parents would have people come over, they would rent a fight. So like by nature, and like I guess Puerto Ricans love boxing too. So like it's in my blood a little bit. I hate boxing personally because my mom signed me up for boxing class, and this is a tangent a little bit. I got beat up by a girl who was super nice. She was like winning like at a high level, and they had me spar her. I got beat up, and my mom never let me go back. So like I never got revenge. I never got better at it. So I kind of have a bitter taste about it. But last night's fight was one of the best fights, especially like heavyweight boxing I've seen my whole lifetime. Like I mean, obviously Fury has won all 3 fights, so it looks one-sided on the thing. But you got to take account the first fight. Deontay Wilder literally knocked him unconscious. The dude hit. It looked like he hit his canvas and then rose back up, and then proceeded to beat Wilder. So like people could give Wilder that first fight, like yeah, Fury won, but like Wilder had him in that fight. Second fight wasn't close at all. Fury dominated him. He just purely outclassed him. Last night, within the first 2 minutes of the fight, you could tell it was a different fight. Wilder came out with like strong jabs to the
or body shame him. But yeah, he looks like me out there, body wise.
Yeah.
Also, there's the third round right there. There's a knockdown in the third round. These are just some highlights in the fourth round. I mean, he's just a big dude. Okay, so he got his revenge there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like back and forth. Like you had no clue who was gonna win these fights. Like this fight. But
yeah, I mean, right there, he's questioning it, right?
Yeah. He's like, that's the second knockdown, I believe, too.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it just shows like boxing. People say boxing is the sweet science, right? Like it shows.
Yeah.
He had a kid. Like his story is dope, and even Fury's story is amazing because he's somebody who had it. He was at the top. I mean, he hasn't lost. Like, I don't think he's ever lost. But he was at the top, and then he goes through drug addiction, goes through his low points, and then climbs his way all the way back, and then has like an amazing trilogy with this Wilder. Wilder. Like, I think every good combat fighter needs that guy that pushes them that level, and it's clearly these two are the guys. That's why I'm kind of sad that this is their third fight. Nobody's gonna want to see, even though as compelling the fight was last night, nobody's gonna want to see a fourth fight. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it clearly showed.
I was gonna say three seems to be the magic number for most fights. Yeah,
unless it's like a huge payday, but I seriously doubt it. It showed that Wilder has the ability to grow as a fighter. He's getting better. You know what I mean? He had this guy for the first couple rounds, like guessing what he was gonna do. Like he didn't expect him to come out like that. So, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Hercules Outlaw. These guys' rivalry is one of the only fights keeping the boxing scene alive. Truth be told, yeah. I mean, it was all over Twitter. It was a lot of traffic on it, and it had that big fight feel.
Yeah,
which is great, and that's what keeps the sport going. And I've said that the sport needs characters, it needs storylines. As much as boxing doesn't want to be like wrestling and WWE and all that stuff, it needs that. It needs two guys that hate each other and can antagonize each other in the media to get people interested. People love the buildup,
and that's why MMA has skyrocketed past boxing.
Oh yeah,
because it's fighting. Well, it's a little bit. I also think it has to do with it's a little bit bloodier, a little bit a little bit more. I mean, it's cage fighting. It's literally cage fighting. But the characters that the UFC brings, like the way they build their fighter ups, the way the fighters are building the fights. You got people like Conor McGregor who he's on a 4-fight losing streak or whatever, 3-fight losing streak,
right.
And if he announces a fight next week, people are gonna watch it next week. Because they know who, it's his personality. Like the personality at this point, it's like what we were talking about earlier. We're entertainers, you know what I mean? At this point, if you're doing anything on social media, you're technically an entertainer, and you have to entertain, whether it be in your own way. You find your own lane to do that in, but you can't just be, you know what I mean? You can't be undefeated and a soft talker and not even Canelo. I don't know. Think about this happened a couple weeks ago. Canelo and the person, I don't even know who he's fighting, to be honest. He's an undefeated guy that he's fighting. Mm-hmm. But the only reason I kind of want to watch the fight is because they got into a little scuffle right in the press conference to where Canelo, and I think even in that moment, Canelo proved he was going to win the fight because he threw keys at him and then swung at the dude. And the dude, I think he barely hit him. He barely touched him. So that little interaction really got me wanting to watch the fight. Other than that, I don't really care to watch a Canelo fight, to be honest, because he doesn't bring it out of me.
No, but yes, conflict, story, drama. I love it, and I hate. I never want to bring anybody's mother into the story or anybody's family, but I love when they get personal.
Yeah.
your wife saw me last night. Like I love that stuff because to me, that's like, because when I put myself in that guy's shoes, right? Like if you talk about my wife, or you talk about my family, I'm going to want to murder you. I'm going to want to take you out. Right. So the build up to that stuff is just, that's what's intriguing for most common average fight fans. Some people really live and die by the sport. They love the stuff. They follow the guys, and which is fine. But again, on a bigger level, like I said, I've watched every Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Why? Because Tyson was the big draw. He was the thing that transcended anything. Like he fought some bums, and I watched the fight. It's so excited to see him come out. And when I paid my $60 or whatever it was for my pay-per-view, and he knocked a guy out in the first round within 10 seconds, I wasn't mad.
No, that's what you wanted it for.
It's what I paid to see, right? And it got to showcase other undercard guys and their storylines. One great example is when the WWE did the, I think it was the women's tournament. They had a women's tournament for NXT. They had like an invitational. Their promos were so on point. Like you didn't even know half of these wrestlers, right? Yeah. Like it was literally a come and fight and see who can win a contract. And when I tell you that the promos that they were putting together, I was like invested. I was like, all right, such and such. Let me see who she is. Let me see if she's going to fight. Yeah. And that to me is what sold me on that. And it wasn't the greatest wrestling, but because I knew the story, I was in the storyline. So it was great. But again, that's what boxing needs to keep it going. Let's see. We got Hercules Outlaws. I remember watching Trinidad fight Oscar De La Hoya all the time as a kid. Yeah, they had a couple fights, I believe, right? The Trinidad De La Hoya.
But like I said, that's what UFC does so well, man. Because like they do it obviously. Like they have their smaller fights throughout the week that they have like a couple fight nights and stuff, and like those are just to get people's like the real hard. Like I consider myself not hardcore, but like I'm a fan of the UFC. I stick, you know what I mean? I watch their podcasts of fighters and stuff. But what they do great, especially like big fights, they have like UFC embedded where they follow the fighters around. And like I believe boxing did it a little bit, but not to this level. They do it like every time there's a big fight, they have these embedded. And like if I don't know somebody and there's like a new fighter on the card or something, and you hear their story throughout it, you see their personality throughout, how they are, how they're training, like that just makes it like. And then comes fight night, I'm like, oh, I want to see this guy win. Or you see how two people are. I'm very like analytical about like how people are. Like if somebody's like, hey, your mom did this, I want to see how that person reacts to that, because that's another thing is like, yeah, somebody could talk about your mom and yeah, you do want to murder them, but like that could hurt you at the end of the day too in the fight. Like you might want to be over aggressive about it. You know what I mean? So like I like seeing how people react to the banter and react to their opponent, or like, you know what I mean? And I think it comes from like growing up watching like The Ultimate Fighter, like on Spike TV. They used to have like, you know what I mean, the little tournament where like they would bring new up and coming fighters. You would see their story, you would see how they interacted in the house, you would see their fights, and then by the time the main event where they are gonna fight to get the contract is like you're invested in it. And I think that's why they built a lot of stars out of that too, because they were already like they did the groundwork. Yeah.
And you follow the storyline and you go, okay, that's my guy. I relate to him, or I relate to that story, or I like his character. Like again, it was Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell. Like those guys had epic matches. But again, those were the big draws, and that's what you need, unfortunately, in sports. And it's become, and this is why I think UFC for me is more entertaining to watch. Is that I don't have to be invested in the story to get the action I'm looking for. I want blood. I want broken bones. I want carnage. I want all that stuff to happen. And if I watch a fight night on a Thursday night, they have it on Fox or whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna see a guy get bloodied up. I'm gonna see a knockout. I'm gonna see something interesting. When the card has like 6 guys who are all really really good, and all 3 matches are draws at the end, I'm pissed. I'm like, this is kind of boring. I was waiting for a knockout, right? Yeah. But again, I'm the casual fan who watches UFC from time to time. But I don't, I watch the highlights for the knockouts. I watch the highlights for the big fights. But if you give me a good story, I'm all the way. I'm going to start watching the history of that fight, so on and so forth. Because that's how I actually grew up is watching the wrestling world. I've been watching wrestling since the early '80s, and I knew the storylines. I know. Listen, man, I could. If I can start a promotion tomorrow, I know how to completely script the whole thing because I know all the rules and everything. That's how invested I am in that world. But we don't talk about that too much on this channel. So part of the reason is that it's not a lot of people watch it anymore. So it's okay.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, a lot of my friends, they were like, till this day, they love wrestling. Like they talk about it. It's just. My real dad was like super into it. It's just never been my thing, man.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It looks cool. It's just like I don't know. Maybe I was weird. I was watching the Spider-Man animated series over and over again when I was younger.
No, man. Listen, you had to understand, man. Sometimes it's how you were exposed to it, and like my dad, Not on. I don't think again. I don't even know how he got the tickets. I think it was 1983, 82 or something. 83 or 84. I was like, 4, 5, 6 years old, something like that. And we went to Miami Beach for a house show, and I watched Hulk Hogan for the first time ever. Big John Studd, Roddy Piper. Like, they brought the big guns to this show in Miami. I don't know how the hell I ended up seeing this, but I fell in love. Like I love the spectacle. Then I watched it every Saturday night. I watched all the videos. I had videos. So, like, it's just a matter of how you process it. And then, obviously, at some point you realize that it's not real and it loses its luster. But I still love a good story. And so... all through high school, all through, growing up, I've been watching it. My greatest thing that I've ever done with wrestling is I got to go see my first WrestleMania with my son, with Junior Llama. Him and I went, and then I got to bring little Llama with me for my second WrestleMania, and he got to see it again with me. So that was like the highlight checklist, bucket list. Everything was good. But yeah, it's definitely something you got to love because it's not as exciting in live if you don't know the people. Like if you don't hear the announcer and the commentator, it's not as exciting in the live. I hate to say that, but like unless they do a really good match, some of it's not that exciting. Yeah. Although I did see some of these garage wrestlers, these indie wrestlers, do it here like at the Civic Center, and. That's fun, man. That's a lot of fun because you don't know anything and you get to participate. You get to talk to these guys. That's a lot of fun. But we'll save the wrestling talk for another night. All right. Well, listen. We are at the hour and 44-minute mark. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to wind down. Yeah. So let's hit our last commercial, which is about this channel and about subscribing to our different. Hold on, we have one more comment here. This is Hercules Outlaw. I remember watching WrestleMania a few years ago and the Hardy Boys came back. I literally screamed in my room. Hercules Outlaw. Hercules Outlaw. I was there. That was in Orlando. Oh. I was there and I screamed like a little girl in the stands. And my wife looked at me and was like, where's these noises coming out of your mouth? I was literally there, and I freaked the hell out. Now, mind you, the tickets I had were way up top nosebleed. I almost fell over, like because up at that point they don't even have backs. It's just a bleacher on top of like cement at the Citrus Bowl. It's terrifying, but yeah, I screamed my head off on that. It was amazing. Hercules out, yeah, life changing for sure. Because I love those dudes. Anyway, that's good. All right, so we're winding down. So let's talk about a couple things. So, AD, what are the different ways they can continue to watch you? Give us your plugs. What do you got going on?
You can follow me on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, everything, blackout_AD. Also, you can find me on YouTube, same thing, and Twitch, same thing, blackout_AD. Just trying to more content to be made. You hit me with something. I have to bring this up before we leave. When I posted like a little bit of like organized disaster, my old podcast, and you said bring it back. When you said that, I was like, damn man, it's got to be time. I got to figure out how I'm gonna do it, but I think we're gonna have organized disaster come back soon. So I'm announcing it here on the Big Llama Show, and obviously you'll be a part of that in some form or fashion. So yeah, thank you for the motivation, man, and just follow me there on all my social medias.
Yeah, and I did that on purpose because when you posted that, I said, he's been talking about bringing it back. I want him to bring it back. Let's do it. So, all right. So, good. Excellent. Make sure you check out Blackout AD, streaming on Twitch, on all the social medias. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you become, you just subscribe to his channels. Help the Llama Nation here. Help Blackout AD. Help the Blackout crew. And yes, as soon as you get that podcast going, I want to be part of that for sure. Yeah. Self-invitation here. All right. So for fans of the Big Llama Show, thank you everyone for joining me. Yes, I am on social media on every social media site that you can think of under the Big Llama Show. So if you look at the Big Llama Show at any of these sites, you'll find me there. Make sure you like any of my videos, like any of my posts. Become a follower, subscribe, whatever you need to do. If you really want to support the channel, the best way to do it is through YouTube. I'm trying to monetize my YouTube channel, so we're trying to get subscribers. Honestly, I think it's a very entertaining show. And if there's anything that I do that anyone likes, I'm always open to feedback, comments, everything. So I'm always evolving the show. I love to do these Sunday night shows because, as you saw, we go from random topics to specific things, to comic books, to movies, to fights. It's everything that's happened throughout the week. It's our way of recapping the week. And honestly, it's fun to interact. And our favorite part of this is interacting with the subscribers in the comments. Hercules Outlaw hitting us with the hashtag Blackout, hashtag Lamination. That's it. That's exactly it. Make sure you follow those as well.
Every week, the interactions are getting a lot better too.
For sure. We got people waiting to get on, which is great. We're really, really excited. So the channel keeps growing. Remember, subscribe on the Big Llama Show on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm on Twitch streaming. We'll be streaming old arcade games. And we have the podcast. The podcast is available every Sunday night. Hit us up wherever you get podcasts. And again, this week coming up on the Big Llama Show, hopefully by Wednesday, we'll be doing a retro rewind of The Lost Boys. That's going to be the next movie that I review. And then I have to find a movie for next week, and I've got the suggestion, VHS.
It hits the Halloween theme.
All right, so VHS is the one of the recommendations. I will see if I can get a copy of that, and I will have to figure out the motion sickness part. So maybe throwing up on camera is my next big feat. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. I'm the Big Llama. He's AD. Thank you so much for joining us. Peace out, everybody.